He married an alien bride, but nothing prepared him for the wedding night. Dr. Juniper Rose stood at her laboratory window in the Quantum Research Institute, watching the crystalline ship hover above Denver's skyline. Its geometric surface refracted sunlight in impossible patterns, creating auroras in broad daylight. Even after 3 months of the Zalaxians' presence on Earth, the sight still took her breath away. Dr. Rose, her assistant Raj Patel, appeared in the doorway. "The director wants to see you immediately." His usually calm voice trembled slightly. Juniper checked her reflection in the window. Her copper-brown curls were escaping their tight bun, and her olive skin looked pale in the strange light. She straightened her lab coat and followed Raj to the conference room. Director Olivia Winters sat with 2 unfamiliar figures, a military officer whose insignia identified him as General Marcus Hayes, and a being that could only be a Zalaxian. The alien's crystalline form shifted between translucent and opaque, its internal light pulsing in complex patterns. "Dr. Rose," Director Winters gestured to a chair, "please sit. This is General Hayes and Emissary Calix of the Zalaxian Collective." The crystalline being's light patterns changed. A melodic voice emanated from somewhere within its structure. "Dr. Juniper Rose, your quantum frequency is remarkable." Juniper's scientific mind raced to understand how the being could assess her quantum signature. Before she could ask, General Hayes spoke. "Dr. Rose, what we're about to tell you is classified at the highest levels. The Zalaxians haven't just come to share their technology, they've come seeking something specific, something human." "Not something," Calix corrected, lights swirling. "Someone, and we have found her." Director Winters leaned forward. "The Zalaxians propose a unique form of diplomatic exchange. They call it quantum bonding, a permanent linking of consciousness between 2 beings. They've searched thousands of human quantum signatures. They've chosen you, Juniper." The room seemed to spin. "Chosen me for what exactly?" "To bond with our prime resonator Nixis," Calix explained. "Your quantum frequency matches in ways we've never seen between our species. The potential is extraordinary." "You want me to marry an alien?" Juniper blurted, then immediately regretted her unprofessional outburst. "Marriage is an imperfect translation," Calix's lights pulsed with what might have been amusement. "Quantum bonding transcends physical union. It is a melding of consciousness, energy, and possibility." General Hayes cut in. "With this bond, they'll share their quantum technology, clean energy, advanced medicine, FTL travel, everything we've dreamed of." "And if I refuse?" "The choice must be yours," Calix said. "Forced bonding is impossible. But know that this connection could unlock mysteries both our species have sought for millennia." Juniper stood and paced, her mind working furiously. "I need to see your quantum mechanics research, all of it, and I want to meet this Nixis before making any decisions." "Of course," Calix agreed, though traditionally quantum resonance patterns are not shared before bonding. "I'm a scientist," Juniper stated firmly. "I don't agree to anything without data." Director Winters smiled slightly. "This is exactly why they chose you, Dr. Rose." Over the next week, Juniper barely left her lab, analyzing the limited data the Zalaxians provided. Their understanding of quantum mechanics made Earth's most advanced theories look primitive, but something wasn't adding up. Their interest in human quantum signatures seemed to hide a deeper purpose. Late one night, as she studied readings from their ship, a new pattern of light appeared in her lab. It coalesced into a crystalline form more intricate than any she'd seen, like a diamond snowflake crossed with a fractal pattern. "Dr. Juniper Rose," the voice seemed to resonate within her skull. "I am Nixis." Juniper's quantum sensors spiked off the charts. The being's presence created standing waves in reality itself. "Why me?" she asked. "The real reason." Nixis moved closer, light patterns shifting to match her body's electrical field. "Because you ask questions like that. Because your quantum signature shows patterns we thought lost to our species eons ago. Because," The crystalline form pulsed with new colors. Because when I first sensed your resonance pattern, it sang to me across the void between stars. That's not very scientific, Juniper noted, fighting a shiver as the air charged with potential. No, Nyxis agreed. But quantum mechanics has always bordered on magic, has it not? There are forces at work beyond either of our species' comprehension, forces that have drawn us together for a purpose. What purpose? Accept the bonding and you will understand. Nyxis's form began to fade. But choose quickly, Dr. Rose. Time grows short and the stars themselves hold their breath awaiting your decision. After Nyxis vanished, Juniper sat in her dark lab, watching her quantum readings slowly normalize. Her entire career had been devoted to understanding the fundamental forces of reality. Now those forces seemed to be pushing her towards something that defied her rational understanding. She pulled up the preliminary bonding contract on her tablet. Her hand trembled slightly as she pressed her thumb to the authorization pad. Sometimes, she reflected, the most scientific choice was to embrace the unknown. Across the city, the crystalline ship pulsed with new light patterns like a star declaring itself to the darkness. The quantum bonding of two species was about to begin, and reality itself would never be the same. The Xylaxian preparation chamber hummed with quantum frequencies that made Juniper's teeth ache. 3 weeks had passed since she'd signed the bonding agreement, and each day brought new revelations about her future partner's species that challenged everything she thought she knew about physics. The resonance must flow through you, instructed Lyrics, her Xylaxian mentor. The crystalline being's form rippled with patterns that Juniper was slowly learning to interpret as expressions. This one indicated patience tinged with concern. Your consciousness resists the quantum harmonics. I'm trying, Juniper muttered, adjusting the crystalline bands wrapped around her forearms. The technology was meant to help her attune to Xylaxian quantum frequencies, but so far it just made her feel like she was standing inside a giant tuning fork. Perhaps we should rest, suggested Dr. Myra Patel, the human quantum mechanics expert assigned to monitor Juniper's transformation. She'd been Raj's mother all along, her decades of classified research making her the perfect liaison. Your neural patterns are showing strain. Before Juniper could agree, a new frequency filled the chamber. The crystalline walls resonated in response, creating harmonics that made her vision blur. Nyxis materialized in the center of the room, their form more complex and beautiful than Juniper remembered. She is doing well, Nyxis said, their voice bypassing her ears to resonate directly in her mind. The resistance is natural, her consciousness is learning to exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously. Juniper stepped toward them, drawn by an increasingly familiar pull. Every time Nyxis was near, the quantum bands on her arms hummed at a frequency that seemed to reach into her very atoms. I felt something different today, like I could see the space between moments. Nyxis's form shifted closer, their crystalline edges softening. Tell me what you saw. Patterns in the air, waves of possibility. I could almost reach out and Juniper extended her hand toward Nyxis. Where their energy fields met, reality seemed to shimmer. The chamber's monitoring equipment went haywire. Incredible, Dr. Patel breathed, studying the readings. The quantum entanglement patterns are unprecedented. Lyrics moved to examine the data, their light patterns expressing excitement. The resonance grows stronger, soon you will begin to perceive the crystal songs. The what? Juniper asked, reluctantly stepping back from Nyxis as the strange moment faded. Our highest form of communication, Nyxis explained. Pure quantum information expressed through crystalline harmonics. It is how we share memories, emotions, entire lifetimes of experience. Juniper's scientific mind raced with questions, but before she could ask them, a sharp pain lanced through her head. The quantum bands sparked and she stumbled. Nyxis caught her with a field of pure energy that felt like being cradled in starlight. Enough for today, her neural pathways need time to adapt. Later, in her private quarters aboard the Xylaxian ship, Juniper studied her reflection in the crystalline walls. Fine lines of light had begun appearing beneath her skin, tracing patterns that matched her nervous system. The changes terrified and fascinated her in equal measure. A soft chime announced Nyxus's arrival. Their form was dimmed to a gentle glow that eased Juniper's lingering headache. Your transformation progresses faster than expected, they observed. Is that good or bad? It is unprecedented. Nyxus moved closer, their energy field interacting with hers in ways that made the air itself sing, like everything about you. Juniper smiled despite herself. You know, for a being of pure quantum energy, you can be quite charming. I have been studying human courtship rituals, Nyxus admitted, their form shimmering with what she now recognized as embarrassment, though I fear they translate poorly across species. I don't know, Juniper said, taking an interest in someone's work, paying them compliments, spending time together learning about each other, those seem pretty universal. The light patterns within Nyxus swirled in complex new configurations. There is something I wish to share with you, a crystal song from my own creation sequence. No human has ever experienced this. Will it hurt? No, but it will change how you see everything. Nyxus extended a crystalline tendril toward her quantum bands. Do you trust me? Juniper hesitated only a moment before nodding. The instant their energies connected, the world transformed. She found herself floating in a sea of quantum possibilities, experiencing Nyxus's emergence into consciousness. She felt the joy of first light, the wonder of discovering form and thought, the deep resonance of connecting with others of their kind. But beneath it all ran a current of profound sadness, a sense of something vital slipping away, of harmonies falling into discord. The Xylaxians were losing something precious, their ability to maintain quantum coherence was failing. When the vision ended, Juniper found herself on her knees, tears streaming down her face. Nyxus's form had diminished, the effort of sharing clearly taxing them. Now you understand, they said softly. The bonding is not just about diplomacy or technology exchange. My species is dying, Juniper, our quantum patterns are decaying. But something in human DNA, in your quantum signature specifically, holds the key to our survival. Why didn't you just tell me? Would you have believed us? Would your governments have reacted well to our desperation? Nyxus's form fluctuated. We needed you to understand through experience, not just knowledge. Juniper stood on shaky legs, her mind reeling with implications. The other changes in me, they're not just about allowing communication between our species, are they? You're testing if humans can adapt to preserve your quantum patterns. Yes, but I never expected. Nyxus's light pulsed with emotion. I never expected to feel this resonance with you, this connection that transcends mere quantum entanglement. Understanding dawned. You're falling in love with me. Love, Nyxus tested the word. Another concept that translates poorly. What I feel is deeper than your neural chemistry, more profound than our quantum harmonics. It is as if the universe itself designed our frequencies to match. Juniper reached out, letting her fingers trail through Nyxus's crystalline form. The quantum bands sparked, creating a feedback loop of sensation and emotion that defied description. Then let's make sure both our species survive to explore exactly what that means. Outside her window, Earth's sun was setting, its light refracting through the crystalline ship in ways that created impossible colors. Somewhere in that spectrum of possibility lay the future of two species and the answer to what happened when science and love collided at the quantum level. The day of the quantum bonding ceremony arrived with unprecedented atmospheric phenomena. Aurora-like lights danced across the sky worldwide, and quantum measuring devices registered harmonics that shouldn't have been possible in Earth's atmosphere. Inside the Xylaxian ship's ceremonial chamber, Juniper felt like her entire body was humming at frequencies she'd never known existed. Your readings are off the charts, Dr. Patel murmured, adjusting instruments that kept shorting out. The quantum bands have fully integrated with your nervous system. Juniper examined her arms where the crystalline technology had merged with her flesh. Luminescent patterns flowed beneath her skin, matching the rhythms of her heartbeat. She barely recognized herself anymore. Her eyes now held traces of crystalline structures, and her hair seemed to respond to quantum fluctuations. The integration exceeds all projections, Lyrics observed, their form rippling with excitement. You are ready. The chamber's walls began to pulse with light as more Xylaxians arrived. Their crystalline forms created a circle of impossible geometries, each one humming at a different frequency that somehow formed a perfect harmony. At the center, a quantum focal point began to form, a place where reality itself grew thin. Nyxus emerged from the focal point, their form more magnificent than Juniper had ever seen it. Layer upon layer of crystalline structures caught the light in ways that created doorways to other dimensions. My resonance partner, they said, their voice bypassing normal space to vibrate directly in Juniper's consciousness. Are you prepared? Before she could answer, alarms blared throughout the ship. General Hayes burst into the chamber with a security team. Stop the ceremony, we have a situation. What's happening? Juniper demanded, feeling Nyxus's anxiety ripple through their quantum connection. Our deep space monitoring stations just picked up something massive approaching Earth at FTL speeds, Hayes explained. Multiple objects, artificial in origin, they're putting out quantum signatures similar to Xylaxian tech but far more aggressive. The crystalline circle shifted, patterns of light expressing concern. Lyrics moved forward. The discordant, they have followed us. The who? Juniper looked to Nyxus, whose form had darkened with what she now recognized as dread. A faction of our species who chose a different path, Nyxus explained. When our quantum coherence began failing, they attempted to steal stability from other species by force. We exiled them centuries ago. And now they've tracked us to Earth, Hayes growled. Were you going to mention this threat? We had hoped to complete the bonding before they found us, Lyrics admitted. A successful quantum merge between our species would create defenses against their methods. Juniper's scientific mind raced ahead of the conversation. Because they can't force a quantum connection if we've already established a stable one. The bonding isn't just about saving your species, it's about protecting both our worlds. Which is why we need to shut this down immediately, Hayes insisted. We can't risk. He was cut off as the ship shuddered violently. Warning signals flashed in patterns that made Juniper's new quantum senses scream. Through the chamber's crystalline walls, she saw dark shapes appearing in orbit, ships that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. They're here, Nyxus's voice carried terror that transcended species. We're out of time. The chamber erupted in chaos. Hayes was shouting orders into his comm unit while Dr. Patel's instruments sparked and died. The Xylaxian circle began generating defensive harmonics that made reality itself wobble. In the midst of it all, Juniper felt an absolute certainty settle over her. She stepped into the quantum focal point beside Nyxus. We need to complete the bonding, now. The proper protocols, Lyrics began. To hell with protocols, Juniper reached for Nyxus's crystalline form. Those ships are going to start attacking any minute. If this bonding can help protect Earth, we do it now. Nyxus's form brightened. It will be dangerous. Accelerating the process could overwhelm your consciousness. Since when has that stopped scientific progress? Juniper managed a smile. Together. Together. The moment their energy fields merged, Juniper understood why the ceremony usually took hours. The sensation of existing in multiple quantum states simultaneously was overwhelming. She felt her consciousness expanding, touching realities that human minds weren't meant to perceive. Nyxus's presence anchored her, their shared resonance creating patterns that rewrote the fabric of spacetime around them. Through their deepening connection, she accessed Xylaxian knowledge accumulated over millennia. The discordance ships weren't just weapons, they were quantum vampires designed to drain coherence from other beings. But the harmonics being generated by her bonding with Nyxus were creating something new, a quantum signature that existed outside normal physics. The ship rocked with the first attacks. Through the haze of transformation, Juniper heard Hayes coordinating with Earth's defense forces. Dr. Patel was shouting something about unprecedented quantum fluctuations. The Xylaxian circle had begun singing in frequencies that made her newly enhanced senses ring like crystal. Almost complete, Nyxus's thoughts merged with hers, but something unexpected is happening. Juniper felt it too. The quantum bands weren't just allowing communication between their species, they were catalyzing an entirely new form of existence. Her DNA was rewriting itself in response to Xylaxian quantum patterns, while Nyxus's crystalline structure was incorporating principles of human consciousness. They were becoming something that had never existed before. Just as the transformation reached its peak, a massive impact rocked the ship. The quantum focal point destabilized, reality rippling like a stone thrown into a cosmic pond. Juniper felt Nyxus's panic as their partially completed bond fluctuated. "Hold on," she screamed, not sure if she used her voice or her mind. She reached through dimensions she didn't have words for, grabbing onto the quantum frequencies that made up Nyxus's essence. Their combined consciousness teetered on the edge of either transcendence or obliteration. The last thing she heard before reality folded in on itself was Dr. Patel's astonished voice. "The quantum readings, this is impossible. They're rewriting the laws of physics." Then everything went white, and Juniper felt herself scattered across 1,000 possible universes, held together only by her connection to Nyxus and a love that transcended normal spacetime. The real question wasn't whether they would survive, it was what they would become when they pulled themselves back together. Consciousness returned to Juniper in quantum waves, each pulse bringing new awareness of what she'd become. Her body existed in a state of fluid possibility, shifting between solid human form and crystalline energy in response to her thoughts. Through the new depths of her connection with Nyxus, she felt their shared amazement at what the interrupted bonding had created. "Extraordinary," Dr. Patel whispered, her instruments struggling to make sense of Juniper's new quantum signature. "You're existing in multiple states simultaneously yet maintaining coherence. It should be impossible." They were in a secure facility deep beneath the Quantum Research Institute, where they'd been evacuated after the discordant's initial attack. The room's walls were lined with experimental quantum dampeners that made Juniper's new senses feel muffled. "The discordant have withdrawn to high orbit," General Hayes reported, entering with a tablet full of classified data. "But our satellites show them building up energy patterns we can't comprehend. Dr. Rose, if you're still in there, we need to understand what happened during that bonding." Juniper turned to him, knowing her appearance unsettled him. Her skin now rippled with crystalline patterns and her eyes held galaxies of quantum possibility. When she spoke, her voice resonated on multiple frequencies. "I'm still me, General, just more." "You're a security risk," he countered. "Our scientists detect quantum communications between you and the Xylaxian ship that we can't block. For all we know, you're compromised." He fears what he doesn't understand. Nyxus's thoughts merged with hers. Their physical form had taken up position near the ceiling, having refused to be separated from Juniper after the evacuation. "Can you blame him?" Juniper responded silently. "We're probably the biggest potential threat Earth has ever faced." Their internal dialogue was interrupted as lyrics phased through the facility's walls, their usual crystalline grace disrupted by urgency. "The discordant have made contact. They demand we surrender the hybrid." "Me," Juniper said, "they want me." "Your combined quantum signature is unlike anything in known space," lyrics confirmed. "They believe consuming it would stabilize their degradation permanently." Hayes's hand moved to his sidearm. "If you're a target that puts Earth at risk." "Don't," Dr. Patel stepped between them. The quantum energy she's putting out could level the city if you provoke her. She's right, Juniper said softly, watching quantum particles dance around her fingers. I don't fully understand what I am now, but I know I'm not something you can contain or control. Through their bond, she felt Nyxus processing tactical information from the Zylaxian fleet. The discordant ships are positioning for a full assault. Their weapons will tear apart Earth's quantum field, killing billions. Then we need to get out of here, Juniper responded. Draw them away from Earth. There's more. Nyxus's thoughts carried deep concern. Our incomplete bonding, the quantum instability, we're affecting local spacetime. Reality itself is starting to unravel around us. As if to confirm this, the air rippled visibly and instruments throughout the facility began shorting out. Through her enhanced perception, Juniper saw microscopic tears appearing in the fabric of spacetime. What's happening? Hayes demanded as reality flickered. The hybrid quantum state is unstable, Lyrics explained. Without completing the bonding properly, their combined resonance is causing quantum cascade failures. Dr. Patel checked readings on her backup systems. They're right, these energy patterns, reality is becoming unbound on a quantum level between that and the discordant. Then let us complete the bonding, Juniper insisted, properly this time. Too dangerous, Hayes shook his head. We need to separate them. He was cut off as space itself screamed. Through the quantum static, Juniper felt the discordant begin their attack. Their weapons struck Earth's atmosphere, sending ripples of quantum discord that made her very atoms shudder. No time to argue, she gasped, her form flickering between states. Nyxus. Their crystalline partner flowed down from the ceiling, merging partially with her quantum field. Together, they phased through the facility's walls, emerging into chaos. The sky had turned black with quantum disruption. Discordant ships hung like void tears in reality, their weapons ripping apart the orderly structure of spacetime. The Zylaxian fleet was engaged in desperate defense, their crystalline ships generating harmonics that barely held the attacks at bay. Through it all, Juniper felt reality coming undone around her. The incomplete bonding had created something too powerful to exist in normal space. She and Nyxus were becoming a quantum singularity that threatened to collapse both their worlds. Military forces moved to surround them while Zylaxian energy patterns tried to contain their escalating resonance. They were trapped between those who would use them as a weapon and those who feared what they'd become. We need to run, Nyxus's thoughts entwined with hers. No, Juniper responded, watching reality fracture. We need to face what we've started. Above them, the discordant weapons prepared to fire again. Around them, spacetime continued to unravel. Within them, unprecedented quantum forces built toward a crescendo that would either save or destroy everything. The choice they made next would determine the fate of two species and perhaps the very nature of reality itself. As Juniper felt Nyxus's consciousness merge more deeply with hers, she realized that love wasn't just an emotion. At the quantum level, it was the force that held existence together. Now they just had to prove it. In the chaos above Earth, reality itself held its breath. Juniper and Nyxus hovered between states of matter and energy, their combined quantum signature creating ripples in spacetime that threatened to tear the universe apart. The discordant ships loomed overhead like black holes given form, while the Zylaxian fleet's defensive harmonics created a crystalline web around the planet. Their weapons are powering up again, Dr. Patel's voice crackled through emergency quantum channels. The next strike will shatter Earth's quantum field completely. Through their deepening bond, Juniper felt Nyxus processing centuries of Zylaxian knowledge. There's something here we're not seeing, she thought. The discordant are unstable bonding, the quantum cascade, they're all connected. Yes, Nyxus's consciousness merged further with hers. Look deeper, see what our combined perception reveals. Juniper let her awareness expand beyond normal spacetime. Her hybrid quantum state allowed her to perceive reality on levels no pure human or Zylaxian could comprehend. In the fabric of existence itself, she saw patterns emerging. "The universe is singing," she whispered, her voice resonating across dimensions. "Every quantum particle, every wave function, they're all part of a larger harmony." And the discordant, Nyxus guided their shared perception. "They're not just out of phase," Juniper realized. "They're trying to silence the song. That's why they drain quantum coherence from other beings. They're trying to impose their own discord on reality itself." Above them, the discordant weapons reached full power, but now Juniper saw them for what they truly were: instruments of anti-harmony, designed to shatter the quantum symphony that held existence together. General Hayes's voice cut through their revelation. "All Earth Defense Forces, prepare to engage. If we're going down, we're taking them with us." "Wait," Juniper projected her voice across all frequencies. "I understand now. The bonding ceremony, the quantum bands, even my transformation, they weren't just about saving the Zylaxian species. They were about remembering the song." Through their connection, she felt Nyxus's joy at her understanding. Together, they began to resonate at frequencies that made reality itself sing in response. Lyrix's crystalline form appeared beside them. "The ancient harmonics, you've rediscovered them." "Not rediscovered," Juniper corrected, her form shifting between states as the knowledge crystallized. "We've evolved them. Human consciousness combined with Zylaxian quantum physics. We're not just hearing the universe's song, we're learning to conduct it." The discordant ships fired their anti-harmonic beams, striking Earth's atmosphere. But this time, Juniper and Nyxus were ready. Their combined consciousness reached out, transforming the destructive energy into new frequencies that reinforced reality rather than shattered it. "Impossible," the discordant leader's thoughts boomed across space. "The quantum discord cannot be redirected." "You forgot the most fundamental law of physics," Juniper responded, her voice carrying Nyxus's harmonics. "Everything in the universe is connected. Even discord is just harmony waiting to be understood." Together, they began to sing, not with voices but with the very essence of reality. Human DNA's complex patterns merged with Zylaxian quantum structures, creating music that existed outside normal spacetime, the sound of two species remembering that they were all made of stardust. The discordant ships shuddered as their quantum vampirism was transformed. The void-like tears in reality began to heal as new harmonics restored the universal symphony. Even Earth's quantum field stabilized, strengthened by frequencies it had never known it could carry. Dr. Patel's instruments overloaded trying to measure what was happening, but her voice carried wonder. "The quantum cascade. It's revering. They're not just stopping the damage, they're teaching reality a new way to exist." Through their bond, Juniper felt Nyxus's consciousness expand with possibility. "This is what we were meant to become. Not just two beings joined, but a bridge between physics and consciousness, matter and energy, discord and harmony." The discordant leader's ship descended, its anti-harmonic weapons powering down. How did you transform our discord?" "Because love isn't just an emotion," Juniper answered, understanding flowing through her quantum-enhanced consciousness. "It's the force that reminds isolated particles they're part of a greater whole. Your discord came from forgetting that truth." "Join us," Nyxus added, their combined form radiating possibility. "Let us teach you to sing again." Hours later, as Earth's sun rose over a changed world, Juniper and Nyxus hovered in their hybrid form above the Quantum Research Institute. Their successful bonding had stabilized reality while opening doorways to new understanding. The discordant ships now resonated with restored harmonics, their quantum vampirism transformed into a force for universal coherence. "So what happens now?" General Hayes asked, his fear replaced by cautious optimism. "What does this mean for humanity?" "It means we remember how to listen to the universe," Juniper replied, her form shifting between human and crystalline states. Both our species forgot we were part of something greater. The quantum bond didn't just save us, it woke us up. Dr. Patel studied readings from their now stable quantum signature. The harmonics you've discovered, they could revolutionize everything from physics to medicine. It's like you've given us a new fundamental force. Not new, Nixis corrected. Remembered, every particle of matter dreams of its time as stardust. We just needed the right resonance to remind them. Lyrics and the Xylaxian Council appeared, their crystalline forms bright with renewed quantum coherence. The hybrid bond has exceeded all predictions. You've given both our species a future we never imagined. Juniper felt Nixis's consciousness pulse with joy through their connection. Together they had become something unprecedented, not just a bridge between species but a tuning fork for reality itself. Their love story had quite literally changed the physics of the universe. Ready to teach the cosmos to sing, Nixis's thoughts merged with hers. Always, Juniper replied, their combined forms shifting through quantum states that defied description. After all, every love story should have a universe-changing symphony as its soundtrack. Above them, stars pulsed with quantum harmonics that had always existed, waiting to be heard by beings who remembered how to listen. In the end, their bond had proved that the greatest scientific discoveries and the deepest love were made of the same cosmic stuff, the eternal dance of particles remembering they were never truly alone. Together, they rose into the symphony of stars, ready to conduct the universe's next movement. For in their quantum-enhanced perception, they understood a truth both simple and profound. Every love story was also a science story, and the greatest equations were written in the language of hearts learning to beat in harmony with the cosmos itself.